In this video, we'll look at something called a tail whip. It's been around in various forms over the years, but it seems to become popular again with a new super fast variation. The idea is that the tail makes circles as you roll, and you do that with a bit of rudder that gets reversed after each half roll. Although this is a difficult maneuver to do consistently well, it's actually just half periflips where the tail is reversed after each flip. So the best way to learn them is to be really good at half periflips. You want to work on form initially. It should be a well-shaped half periflip where you reach knife edge with the boom horizontal and the main shaft pointing directly away. And for the second half periflip, you want to reverse the tail so at the midpoint the nose is pointing in the same direction as it did in the first flip. Now you might realize one of your flips isn't as good or as well formed as the other, which means you will need to work on them. When practicing half periflip reversals, you want to go the other way as well. So we started with upright left, inverted right rudder. So now we'll do upright right rudder and inverted left. The same rules apply. We're midway through the half periflip. You want to be at knife edge, boom horizontal, and main shaft pointing away. You don't have to get them exactly the same, but if you find your tail whip circle sizes are different, you'll have to come back and revisit this and try to make the half periflip reversals as similar as possible. Once you get to the point where you feel those are pretty good, it's time to try the tail whip. Essentially, it's the same two parts as we've practiced, but with full aileron. Doing them faster like this is actually a lot like when you were learning half periflips and doing them badly. Nose in tail whips will be more difficult to learn because we generally aren't quite as good that way around. The learning process will be the same though. Start with half periflip reversals again, make them really well formed, hitting the marks and under full control. The nose should point the same way at the midpoints, so it's either left or right. And then do them the other way around as well. This is going to be amazing practice for your half periflips, so it's important we cover all of the forward flip orientations. Although you don't need to practice them both ways to do a decent tail whip, skipping orientations is a great way to get stuck later on. Once these variations all look pretty good, you can go ahead and try the tail whips. This is a really slippery move, and the model will tend to try and wander around. To make them consistent, the trick is seeing them as two parts, upright to inverted and back. Each time the model goes horizontal, either upright or inverted, that's your cue to start the next half periflip. Now that we've done nose in and tail in, we should do nose left. This starts in the same way with half periflip reversals. Remember to hit that knife edge, boom horizontal mark each time. And with the reversals, the nose should point the same way, either nose towards or away from you. And once you've done those, practice the alternate with the reverse rudder start. Although you may not like tail whips, this is going to be the best practice you ever had for half periflips. Personally, I think a side-on tail whip doesn't look as good as the tail-in or nose-in versions, but I think if you take these back to half periflip reversals, they actually look better. I remember Tarek used to do these in his style a few years ago. When doing them side-on, it will be slightly harder to control the distance the helicopter is away from you. Slow it down, try to hit the upright and inverted cues, and it should make it easier. Don't forget nose right as well. If you only ever wanted to do tail whips and tail in and nose win, you could skip these, but I would suggest you revisit trying side on in the future if you do. It will allow you to do some of the more advanced shapes and rotations we cover a bit later in the video. All you've learned in the previous sections should make it easy to focus on what worked for you then. You're likely to have weaker orientations, but that's normal and something to work on. After all this practice of half periflips, I've found mine are a lot more equal, so it's been a good session. And then fast forwarding them into tail whips should be trivial, right? One of the first shapes you can try is the tail-in vertical circuit. With the perspective change as it goes higher, it can be difficult to see the cues, so you'll need a lot of practice to get this one right. The tail whip rotation is probably one of the trickier ones, but if you've covered all four orientations, it shouldn't be too difficult. As usual, start with doing a half periflip reversal rotation. I went for an 8-point rotation, but it doesn't matter how many you choose, just that you know where you should be, instead of just going with whatever happens. Then for the tail whip rotation, it should just flow together. If you're struggling with falling out at any point, you can return to doing half periflip reversals to get control. The forward circuit is another nice shape to make. If you can do these with half periflip reversals, you shouldn't have much of a problem turning this one into tail whips. In conclusion, the tail whip is a nice move to throw in as a short tail-in, nose-in maneuver, or a longer shape maneuver. One additional tip I can give you is to rotate the start and cue points slightly. You can see to keep the tail circling around center when you're level, upright or inverted, the tail is always slightly to the side. If you make that your aim, you'll be much more consistent with these. Until next time, hubba hubba.